morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are seeing this video, depending on time you generate video. Guys, actually because of that video I post here Mona too global, and so many people now comment to say no content. For this no content. So actually maybe I clear the end for the jump and then your content real. So now actually maybe I won't. Now, all content here worry. So I mean, Papa no here with the problem and to the problem she be talk. 2019, by through this content creating on 2019. I know so many of you don't know me then. And almost most of you don't know me then because by through more too global and all other people. Then no make content. So the more too global I got make content then 2019. So I made the content, mecha content, even another chat no one now. From there, love a bit. So I am really the content creating now. Mega. Like a web here for the so before too global, Abraham Anya Tawala, too global they are same. Not sure he may travel Chiga Dubai then. I think that was 2020. Or Chiga Dubai. So then I met up on my business. So that time I'm online. That time I web shop online can there like WhatsApp now Facebook. Oh, when they post to the thing. So near the customers. Yeah, see no sorry got by 2020. So Masia so I think it's all the one Alice and I don't know if we be cream mom. It may be more tapa give me a proposal. So yeah, I saw the one uncle yeah, choice sponsor yeah, organ machine to body. So do to na money and papa. So yeah, be a go come na so offer now. Mona patala na luru diozo. I say I call you go touch on because money and a power a kubo marriage then no quantity. So Chanel man will call you go to. Yes, he wants us to take the relationship to another level. No, you go on up and I'll get to go to get be she first or secure ya here. Must say okay, since what since it's like that. No, I love for I love the since it's like that, no problem, I'll wait for you. So money is money got here, mecha here after everything. Here ya beside you say ya apota. So throughout his stay there, not one bola bokbor ne here to here she did. Or the honor whatever home. Not man say so don't worry, say here got the chama, here got the mom not what came to send ya. Some send 100 is 200 is 300 is up at Ramakov, a go but Ramakov mouth, a go but a Pahana come send thinking that now no I'm naming because all out of love can't do me. Thinking no much come naming a mom show one Qatar. Erutena 2023 Eben hang out towards December 2023, which is on you see that December 2023, January now, 2024, which is last year. So ma ana meti kam chat ana me wotezi too global. That time yeah, me pepe this too global TV on a YouTube now. That time all too global entertainment. So then when they chat la too global entertainment. I chat me my WhatsApp and I'm status here. Like chat on my WhatsApp or now I mark one good or now mark is up. I shall get them this boy shall block all am ebelile. Shall block all am cooking. Maybe I reach out to few of his friends then. I try make my house, I show me all involved like you. Maybe I reach out to them. So join her half far. Even only get be very close. My joy as a half far is too global say no one you. So because my chat is there, I call him now because somebody not for on them. I call you came now. They know Sammy come for. Mashi Sammy you too global. No man do there. Even on Facebook, I'm videos here. La Two Global Entertainment, I'm create another page. Ma kpọ Sammy, she Sammy biko it's Two Global si ihe ụdọrọla m ya. Sammy wụ onye mepere ọnụ gwa m na ada short na ka ọ gwa m na I'm always bụ mmadụ na Two Global ha ọlụọla nwaanyị na ọ nọla nwaanyị and the thing na o mere ya n'elo ọ chọghị ka anybody mata even na social media will post ya na Two Global alụọla nwaanyị the girl ha ọmụdalara ya nwa gbasị asị Two Global alụọla nwaanyị. Like after all these years, since 2019 to this day, or how many years, I'm not some of you I believe him that because so now I'm go to she dream no be. Some of you I believe him that because the she le follow one bit on here. He got much this in I will get content. He got much away because all we follow one bit on. I'm not some of you preacher on a profile and bam what that guy has. Some of you I'm again. Mbam na-eme that content, mbam na-eme uduru content some of you amaghị, so that's why some of you jide film or content. Mama ihe mere ihe ọjọọ memere m ihe ọjọọ ama m ihe ọjọọ ka m mere Two Global, but ihe m chọrọ promise to that Two Global ọ ga-akwụ m ụgwọ m ego m niile ahụ niile. Asị m ọ chọọ relationship nsogbu adị mụ achọkwunu m dị relationship because ama m ụmụ nwoke ole bịarala m dị kemgbe o bubere ọhụrụ na Dubai ya. Ama m ụmụ nwoke ole bịarala m dị but hụrụ ego m ahụ ọ ga-agba ụta m.
You are once again welcome to Evangelist Nimakalu TV, Treasury of Excellent Knowledge. This is part 4 of fornication and its problems as a sub-caption from sexual lust and its problems as a chapter in this my book, that is Lust and their problems from points of reality. So, Adahu in Umuahia, Abia State, started content creation in the year 2019, that is 6 years ago from today, with few other men, young boys then. In the process, one of them, Two Global, as she calls him, toasted her, and the two of them became fornicators, fornicating partners in the name of boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. So they began to fornicate among themselves. And at that point, the two of them were not yet financial buoyant. So her boyfriend decided to travel to Dubai to go and search for a greener pasture there, of which she supported. So the young man traveled. In that year 2019, that will happen 6 years ago from today. There in Dubai, the guy was not financial buoyant also. First of all, as a new migrant in Dubai. Secondly, as someone who had not really settled with any business, and he never go there as an investor. So that means he had no money of his own to start up something in a very sizable standard. So she was from Umuahia there, where I believe she based there in her Umuahia hometown, where she runs her dressing marketing, women dresses marketing. At that point, she herself had no shop because she couldn't afford to rent a shop and be paying for it. So she was running her marketing online, and she was supporting her boyfriend, Two Global, financially. At times, she used to send her, he send him 100,000 naira, at times 200,000, at times 300,000, depending on how she could send at that time. So before the guy traveled, the guy promised he wanted to marry her. But just because he had no money to pay her dowry and do the traditional rites, probably in addition to church wedding, to marry her officially, to secure her so that she will not be distracted by other men, because the guy saw her then as someone worthy of being his wife, of which the two of them were in love. But that love is immoral love. It is not a real love, not a true love, since it involves sin. Sexual immorality is a sin. Fornication is a sin. This is the time people define lust as love, and they define true love as God's punishments. So this is another example. It is so rampant everywhere. Boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. So the subtopic of this video is used and dumped. That is the whole thing. That is the cause of her tears now. That is the cause of her painful regrets. As I said, there are two kinds of pains. Pains of self-discipline. Self-discipline is painful, but it is beneficial. And the pains of regret. Pains of regret go along with losses and the disasters. Lust and their problems. Sexual lust and its problems. Fornication and its problems. Then the two of them were communicating all along. And in the year 2023 and the ending of the year 2023, December 2023, just between the last week and the last days of December 2023 to enter into the year 2024, their communication began to cut. While she tried to get to the guy to communicate with him, the guy was not contesting her call, to the extent she came to observe that whenever she sent a message or whatever to the guy, it will only mark one good, and that good should be in gray color instead of marking two blue to indicate that the guy had received the message and had accessed it. So she began to suspect that the guy had really blocked her from communication, only for her to inquire in the early 2024 from other friends who know the guy, and one of them came to give her the report that the guy hid everything from her, that that guy took global, had got married with a different girl, and the girl had already given birth to a child for two global, which means from the time they began, who knows how long he had begun with the new girl, from the time the girl got pregnant to the time of her delivery was 9 months, and she was never aware. Her greatest regret now is that this guy has wasted his 6 years, starting from 2019 to 2025, 6 years gone. Her punani enjoyed, her emotion tortured. She is now emotionally traumatic and in regrets. The relationship issue aside, what about the money she was spending on this guy? And from her explanation, she never borrowed the money to the guy, but she is now requiring the guy to pay her back all of the money under compulsion, as if it was a borrowed money. But I am not in the position to judge in that case, but I am just highlighting my main point of making this video is to keep on conveying the problems that emanate from fornication. I'm talking about lusts and their problems in different dimensions, but this is specific to fornication and its problems. It is expensive. It is emotionally traumatic. It costs time, delay. In the process of waiting for two global, other men were approaching her for marriage, and she was refusing all of them one after the other because someone had already promised her to marry her. But I can tell you that two global might not have abandoned her, might not have dumped her because she is not a good girl to his standard. But a girl can be good. Don't forget, you are a good girl. It's not a guarantee that your boyfriend will marry you. If you are good, remember that better is superior to good, and there are better girls than you. Whether what the guy defines as being good is the kind of shape, or the kind of skin color, or maybe your height. There are girls taller than you. There are girls with better shape than you. Even if it is character, there are girls with better character than you. That is what you must know as a lady. That is what you must know as a man. You may be good. There are better ones. There are the best. There are the excellence. There are the excellent men and women, single. So people who are not rooted with their integrity can always leave the good to choose the better. They will always leave the better to choose the best. They will always also leave the best to go for excellence. Some of them may settle with the good if there had been proper marriage. So they will settle at what they have because it is their choice and they agree with it. And there is nothing wrong with that. But if they have the option to make a new choice, they will leave the good and go for the better. I mean, even inside of the marriage. But because they have married, they must relax with the good. Those who are not contented with what they have, they are the people, even though they have the good, they see the better outside, they will still be going either to have the better as a side chick. That is the reason there are lots of extramarital sexual relationships everywhere. Done by the men, done by the women. The delay, even those other men she had refused, some of them may be even better than two global, but she had refused them. What is the point I am making here? Sexual fornication relationship is a hindrance. It is a blockade. Because she was in a fornication relationship with two global, that became a blockade. Many girls, many single girls, many single men are into fornication relationship. I mean, boyfriend and a girlfriend. If any man wants to preach, I am in a relationship. If any other woman wants to preach, I am in a relationship. Only for them to end up in disappointment, abandonment, and the frustration in the end. And that may be after 1 year, after 2 years, after her own case is after 6 years. He abandoned her in the year 2023 without her consciousness. She came to realize it in 2024. And this is 2025. She is still single. So I'm using her as a case example to reveal to us that there are consequences, negative consequences in the life, in the immoral life that we live. These are the problems. This fornication is the case here. There are positive consequences for the good life we live. Why not we live the good life and forget about the wrong life? So I make this kind of exposition so that people continue to understand the realities of life. You no longer continue to live in illusion. Then you have a proper understanding of who you are, of your actions. Before you take any action, consider the consequences, whether they are beneficial or whether they are repercussive. This is what you must know. Adon is crying out in the social media, blaming it on Too Global. Yes, Too Global had disappointed her, but she is also part of the cause of her problems, because the best thing for her should be to stay on her own, discipline herself, discipline her body. Our human body is the temple of God. They should be, our bodies should be kept sacred and for worshiping God, for God's purpose. It is not for carnal life. And because of this kind of life, the majority of humanity, those involved in it and those in different kinds of immorality, they have lost divine sensitivity. They live in carnal sensitivity, and disappointment, regret, contention, violence becomes the outcomes of such immoral life. As she is bragging now, she may be willing to go and trouble the guy because of her money. She's talking about the money now, but the parents remains with her. My prayer is that she will get married, and very soon. My advice to her, likewise any other person, is self-discipline. I don't know if you can discipline yourself, men will continue to come to you. You are still young. Don't give away your dignity, don't give away your prestige. After all, you live in a home. You can feed yourself, you can clothe yourself. Just maintain your respect. When you respect yourself, you see men who will come to you respectfully because of who you are, because of what you are. Even men trust women who respect themselves more than those in relationship with them. Men can be in relationship with women just because of the pleasure. But they believe, even most of them believe, as you can give it to them, if they're not there, you can give it to any other person. But that is not the case, because there is no accusation of you going after any other man or whatever. That is not the case. But from my own discernment, you are good, but he saw the better. Or maybe what he perceived that maybe that is better than you may not even be as good as you are, but are lost because the person you are dealing with had no self-discipline over his sexual life. So she may engage into sexual relationship with another girl, and the girl gets pregnant, and that pregnancy changes the whole case. So be careful. Be careful. Don't forget the book Lost and Their Problems from Points of Reality. Lost and Their Problems from Points of Reality. From here, you will know different kinds of lost. Then the problems they develop, different kinds of lost. Don't forget about this, the Olivet Prophecy, Matthew 24. This is available in Amazon. This is not yet available in Amazon, but it is in process. There is a little delay, and very soon it will be also available in Amazon. So don't forget, always buy these books, read them, acquire those knowledge. They will guide you to make you wise. I am in the business of making people wise. The business of human capital development through moral value and guiding people to becoming something. So may God bless you until I come your way once again.